So, first of all, shout out to Austin Holland for allowing me to show up on his panel. Good gesture, and as I said, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not taking sides when it comes to this Austin Holland versus Skyer, the Ruin debate. I'm going to say this, as much as I am not a fan of code approaching and going to hip-hop nightclubs and all that kind of stuff, it is the lesser of two evils versus the other stuff, the cheat codes. I'm just going to leave it at that. But as far as that's concerned, one of the things I keep hearing from Austin Holland, and he keeps repeating this, and it's for a legitimate reason, is that a lot of treatment that he gets, particularly in places like Latin America, is very different compared to what his white compatriots and companions get. Now, as far as I'm concerned, looking at what this is, last time I checked, especially if you are out getting chicks, or if you're interacting with chicks in general, isn't the number one job of a wingman is to make sure that his friends get in on the action, or at least get a chance to get some decent action or something like that? As far as I'm concerned, this, more than anything else, is a failure of wingmen. And to all my white subscribers, shout out to all the brothers from other mothers, but let's just gonna be honest, there is a difference on what you guys get versus what other guys get, especially black men. And we don't pull punches here, we don't tiptoe around and act like race doesn't exist here, but what we don't do in this channel is, one, paint a picture as if all white men are part of the problem, or that black men don't have a role in it, or whatever. We call it for what it is, we call it down the line, and that's going to be the case in this video. So, as far as that's concerned, we got a problem here when it comes to particularly the kind of white men that are accompanying certain brothers, and that they're allowing stuff like this to happen in the first place. If you see any sort of treatment, different treatment, when it comes to your friends, even of the same race, wouldn't you step in and call that person out? Or at the very least, wouldn't you take a stand on going to a different establishment, protesting a place, writing back reviews, roasting, or just saying something on the line, saying, hey, don't go here because you got this white worshiping broad here, this freaking thought, this basic bitch. And when I say thought, I'm not talking about the definition that some of these dozers and junkers use about how if a woman puts out to you the first night, she's a thought, oh my goodness, there's a red flag, cooties, guys. She gave it to me the first night after I had to do all this jumping like a dog and acting like a dancing monkey for the other 50 women I got with. No, that's not a thought. This is more of a thought. That woman who treats your friend because he happens to have darker skin, different than you, that's a thought. That's a hoe in my opinion. That's more of a hoe than any broad who has a notch count of 100 as far as I'm concerned. And as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to these so-called white friends, white companions, or whoever who's traveling around, I'm looking at them at the very least with an eye of suspicion, if not the eye of the opposition. And my opposition, I don't mean the kind of opposition, the ops definition that the communitized babies kids love to use. Oh, he looked at my girl's ass too long for like 5 seconds. He's an op. He made a song about me, and he pissed on my favorite cornflakes while having Rick and Morty in the background. He's an op. No, these are real oppositions. These are guys that, as far as I'm concerned, they are your rivals at the very least, and your enemies at the very most, because friends, real friends, or even people who have respect for each other, respect for your humanity, respect for your dignity, respect for your time in said location, they wouldn't allow this to happen. And it's time that we call out a lot of these guys who, quite frankly, are on that time, are on trying to take advantage of that white worshiping stuff. Here's the thing, and to all my white male subscribers out there, I'm not going to tell you not to take advantage of it. I know that sounds very contradictory with what I just said in the past few minutes, but there is a difference between taking advantage of your skin color or your status that comes with it, and using, the difference and the comparison and the contrast that black men have, particularly the disadvantage that we have in order to make yourself look better. There is a difference between white men who just take advantage of goofy broads, goofy thoughts, who think that just having some white peen in them is going to make their lives or change their lives for the better, and those who basically throw black men under the bus or stand beside a black man in order to get a better advantage. Because quite frankly, that is a covert form of what I've dealt with, especially when I was in the East, of gatekeeping. And what gatekeeping is this? Basically the gatekeeping that a lot, and not all white men, but a little too many of them, especially in the Tokyo area, used in order to get up on the Japanese women or Asian women. And to be honest, it wasn't even from the Asian men, they're Japanese men. They had plenty of issues that they were dealing with in their women. Hell, I think half of them didn't even want to deal with their women. Have you seen the population count as of late? That should probably tell you something. If a lot of these gatekeeping white boys didn't have their heads so far up their ass, maybe that should be an indication of what you're probably going to have to deal with in the future. And trust me, I've heard stories from white men who've gotten with Asian women. And those are the ones that were still married. I can save you the 4 stories. I got plenty of the 4 stories in Japan, and which you think a lot of these white guys think, oh man, it's a white man paradise. They're gonna get cheat code, yeah. Yeah, you don't have to trick, right? You don't have to. Well, the young ones don't, to be fair, but the old ones, oh, you're gonna see how much money you have to put in. Trust me. After what some of you are in for P will be the better option. I'm no fan of P and people who boast at it like they're the tits. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, let's not get into that. Anyway, if I have someone in my ranks or in my presence who is going to let some bimbo treat me like crap because I'm black, first of all, I'm calling her out, and second, I'm calling him out, or at the very least, I'm looking at him as if, oh, we got some competition ahead. That's how it is, huh? We're not on the same team. And that's the main problem when it comes, and I'm just going to say this to America. That's one of the reasons why America is falling. It's because men are too pussy. Men are too damn pussy to stand beside each other. Especially when it comes to women, which you think would be one of the easiest things to do. Especially a woman you don't know or you have no intentions of boning. And you can't stand up for your fellow man. You can't do it. And look, I know when it comes, especially comes to these white manosphere minded kind of guys who are more worried about the BBC than real life things such as BRICS, such as this economy, such as these geopolitics that are going on, such as where our money's going to, which countries our money's. I'm not, you know what time it is. The real ones know. But the others, these white manosphere guys who are still stuck in this, the BBC is the reason why the world's the way it is right now, and if we just got rid of that, oh, you don't want that happening. That, if I do that video, that will be Patreon or monetarily locked on. Reason why you don't want that to happen, and the reason why America doesn't want that to happen. But let's just stick to the surface stuff instead of the 5th dimension stuff. To all my brothers out there, if you're dealing with some non-black person or even another black person who is not standing up for you and is not trying to help you get a chick, then as far as I'm concerned, he's a rival at best and an enemy at worst. Yesterday, I was in Budapest, and a couple of Brit dudes I met, and one of them actually pointed out to me some chick who was eyeing me from the room. Now, we chopped it up for a bit. I mean, nothing too much happened of it, but that is someone you want to have in your corner. At the very least, maybe it was a false positive sign. Maybe she was looking at him, even though he was married, but he gave me alley-oop. Now, what I did with the alley-oop, or the lack thereof, that's on me. But when you have broads trying to say, I'm going to treat you different because of reasons, but I'm going to treat all the rest of your friends like they're freaking dignitaries and they're world leaders and they cure cancer. No. Call that out. and I say this towards Austin Holloman, you tell XanatosClutch that those white boys that you're with, they're some damn ops. Everyone else out there always been on X.